to identity reinvention, and it was about um, assessment, personal assessment. And we've seen on this platform again and again that identity reinvention, that identity reinvention is not something that you do once in a while. It is a whole process, it's a whole journey where which is supposed to evolve because as you are evolving as well. And because we are intentional in that we have decided that whatever the case is, human beings are called to go through different phases. And why not take the lead by deliberately, intentionally making the decision that will give you um, will give you the ability to really draw the life that you desire and not finding yourself living your life by default. That is living the life that someone else designed and conceived for you. 1 minute, guys. Thank you. So, guys, talking about that, and maybe we go like this today. I'm not really sure that I want to show my face, so maybe we go like this today. So, talking about that, about identity reinvention and the fact that um, you have to do personal assessment, it has to become part of your learning process that you actually introspect, self introspect. You actually go within yourself and ask yourself the right questions, and it's so much important because I've discovered that we most of the time most people are not trained to question whether it's themselves, whether it's things around them, whether just to be people that are curious and question and ask why do we do this thing, why do we do this do why do we do this way, why not this other way. Like people are trained not to ask question to a point that they become even annoyed by questions. They just want you to receive and accept what is said the way it is uh without you making it to go through the why, the why and the whys. And so we don't even realize that's really the first person to be disadvantaged by that is ourselves, because we come to a place where we are working as automaton and we are never questioning ourselves. We are not questioning our beliefs. We are not questioning the way we do things, why we do things. We are not questioning the desires. Why do I want this thing that I desire so much? Why do I want this particular person to be in my life or to live my life? Like we just go through life in a way that is so automatic and we are not even realizing it. And it's excuse me, and it's very detrimental to our own cause, because when we start to ask ourselves why, that's actually when we start, like, I want to say that when we start living, because the why will put us in discomfort, the why we question our answers, the why will cause us to think outside the box, that our environment, that our determinisms. And we have already shared on this platform that there are three kinds of determinism: the genetic determinism, that which you inherited with your lineage; the environmental the environmental determine in fact, you understand what I mean, and the experiential determinism. I think I said it well. And so those different determinism are the one that will shape and form that which will be like what you can aim for, what you can dream, like the extent to which you can aim when it comes to your finances, the extent to which you can dream when it comes to your relationship or to your neighborhood, like the extent to which you can allow, you permit yourself, you give permission to yourself to dream and to say, okay, I can afford this, in terms of I think that I can reach this, or I think I cannot reach this. And so when we go through life with those different determinism that have already predetermined, if we are not questioning ourselves, predetermine what we can expect of life, what are the kinds of experiences that we are going to have in different realm of life, emotional, mental, financial, physical, spiritual, and whatever. When we are trained and when we stay in that motion of not questioning ourselves, what it does to us is that we are going through life like sleep awake. We are not realizing it. We are going through life like a death walking. We are following the pattern that was placed before us, the pattern of the environment of our society, the environment of the system, and we never question it. We never even question ourselves to know if this is actually the life that we dreamt or to live. Are we living our dream life, or did we just slide unconsciously into a mold that was already prepared for us, and we were so trained and prepared to enter that mold that we did not even realize when it happens. So coming to a place where we become intentional. First of all, it will ask us to be deliberate, to become deliberate, to ask ourselves questions again and again and again about the whys and the why and the whys and the how of ourselves, of our life, of our motives, of our dreams, of our desires. Not to judge them, not to condemn them, no, not at all, but actually to know ourselves and know the real roots of that which we aim for, or that which we desire, or that which we do not like. Why do I not like this person? Why do I not like appreciate this? Or why do I appreciate this so much? To know the whys of ourselves so that we can start to learn to know ourselves and learn to know the patterns of our own thoughts, and learn to understand better ourselves. Learn to understand ourselves better. Because actually, at the end of the day, you realize that that's the key. Since the only denominator of your life is you, what if anything or everything in our lives that we are not really comfortable with, or is not really our dream state, is perpetrated only before we have not yet taken time to go within ourselves, to introspect, to ask ourselves questions about the whys. The whys are putting in with the S, that's what I say, the S. The why of what we want, or the why of what we do not want, without judging, with a lot of compassion and a lot of mercy, just to understand ourselves and understand the point of view we are coming from. And in the process, we realize there's a lot of things that we do to prove ourselves to others, because we feel like they gave up on us too soon, or they did not brought to us the proper support that they were supposed to, as caretakers, as tutors, or whatever. You in that journey of self introspection, and putting in ourselves in a place where we are constantly asking ourselves we are constantly questioning our answers. We discover that there's a lot of things that we have just accepted without really believing them. We have accepted them as belief, but we have never really questioned them till today, even if they have produced harm in our life, because they were beliefs that, were limitative and were very self-hurting. But because we're not in this process of questioning our answers, we did not even realize it, we were going on autopilot mode. So questioning ourselves is life-saving, and is life-changing, and it's something that we have to learn to do deliberately. Because sometimes also the noise, not only around us externally, but even within us, can become so loud that is like we cannot even hear again. And it's like we are carried away in so much activities and so much task to fulfill, and so much goals to attain, and so much responsibilities to show up to, that we find ourselves completely like under that noise, completely, I don't want to use that word, but completely surrounded by noise, to the point that even when we stop to ask ourselves why, it's like we cannot hear the answer within ourselves. And so it needs that we become deliberate to listen, to go into silence, to question our answers. I prefer to put it that way, to question our answers, to actually get to the root of it. And sometimes it's frightening. It's frightening to the false ego. It's frightening to that persona that we have created on the base of all those assumptions and presuppositions and beliefs that we have just embraced without questioning. Because the truth is, we don't know what is on the other side when we start questioning our answers. We don't know what is on the other side when we start questioning things that were like the tenets of our lives because they were transmitted to us by our environment, by our lineage, by our experiences. And so we don't know which kind of person we are without those beliefs when we start questioning the beliefs, when we start questioning our certitude, when we start questioning our answers. And it can be very, very frightful. It can be very, very frightful. So it is really really something that we have to work on. Because as we have presented here when we're talking about, I don't really know which live stream was it, but we're talking about the fact that the brains, our three brains, always want to keep us safe and therefore to keep us in our comfort zone because that's what they know. And when we want to step into the unknown, they ring the alarm bell to tell to the whole system something is wrong and we have to protect her because she's going where she has never gone before, and we cannot predict the conclusion of this action, of this step that she's taking, because we have never been there before. So when we start questioning things that are standing in our life, things that were transmitted to us, like this is what we believe, this is how we do things, and we're told that this is the way it is, there is no question to ask. And now we have realized that the persona that we are today, although we are grateful for this whole personality that we have constructed, may be constructed on lies. Because lies in which sense? Lies in the sense that the persona, the personality, the character that we are today may be only the result of beliefs that we don't really believe in, or beliefs that are going against us. Maybe the result, our personality today may be the result of projections, personal projection, the result of trauma instilled in our lineage that does not actually directly concern us, but we find ourselves repeating and reliving the consequences of that trauma because those who were before us did not know better. And that's why we are here, to be the cycle breaker and to allow a whole new cycle to begin for the next generation. So self-assessment, that's what I wanted to share with you today when it comes to identity reinvention. That is something that we just have to be deliberate about, to decide that we're going to have to take time on a constant basis, consistently, to think. Not even to think, because to think you can be, your mind can play with you, but to be in silence. To be in silence and to question our certitude, to question our answers, to question our beliefs, to question everything that looks like everything that is in our life, basically. Everything that is in our life. So that we can open the door to get to that identity shift that we want, to get to be that woman that we desire to be. Because that woman, there are things that she knows that the woman of today do not know yet. There are things that she has become aware of. There's identity, there's belief that she has shifted, that she has changed to become that woman that she is. And the fact that we all already aspire to that identity shift, the fact that we already aspire to that identity reinvention, tells us already that that woman is already in our field. But there are certain steps that we ought, inspired action that we ought to take to actually bring her fully into manifestation, into this dimension. So I just also want to remind you that there's a course available. There's a course available in regards of that for those of you who are interested in. It's entitled the Identity Reinvention, Identity Reinvention, the Woman Blueprint. And the link will be in the description box for those of you who are interested and want to dive even more when it comes to identity reinvention and not just get but you can also bench watch what we have already dropped here on the live streams. So we just have to become deliberate about it, become deliberate about asking ourselves questions, become deliberate to make silence within ourselves so that we can actually hear. And doing those sessions with an open heart is not to judge ourselves and say, oh no, this is the fact that I want this thing because of this motive is bad or is good. No, but really with an open heart and an empty mind, come and ask ourselves real question, and be truthful about it, be authentic about it. I think the journey of being genuine is such a marvelous and a deep journey when we decide that we want to be genuine, authentic with ourselves first. Is such, and is also frightening because we have been used to wear so many masks. We have been used to be this personality, this persona that we think that others, that we have become first of all accustomed to and others have become accustomed to a point that today sometimes we are more frightened to just be this person that we have never been before, but yet that is there because there were so many lies and there were so many beliefs of others, dreams of others, expectation of others that we have placed on us as being as being from us, when we were actually just projecting what our environment, what our lineage, or what our experiences have kind of taught us that we should be, we should have, we should love, or we should not love. So identity reinvention is really a metamorphosis. It looks sometimes like you moving from like it looks like the stages of growth of the butterfly, where you move from one stage to another stage with the incapacity to go back after that when it's done properly. Because that's actually the thing. When you have an identity reinvention, when you have an identity shift, you should not be able, like even if you attempt to go back to the former self that you were portraying to yourself, to others, to the cosmos. So it's on this note that I'm going to leave you for today. Have a beautiful weekend, guys. We'll meet up again probably tomorrow. Identity, the Reinvented Woman Blueprint is available. The link is in the description box. I'll see you there. Bye bye.